Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, I am up and running. I am Michael Hyson, aka Angelus, son of Abaddon. Today, I'd like to discuss with you black magic and how you can benefit yourself through sorcery. One of the things that I've noticed throughout my career is that certain things are applicable, whereas others are more tedious. There are those practitioners who wish not to harm people by any means. And then there are those who are willing to do whatever it takes for that achievement, that victory. So, why don't we break this down? Okay. White light practitioners of the right hand path believe in turning the other cheek. Basically, the Judeo Christian way of thinking is that if you're struck on the left, turn the right also so that it may be struck. In black magic, such as Satanism, if you're struck on the left, smash them in the right. Okay. But is this a physical, violent act? Or is it a magical? In black magic magicians know that we're going to be in front of our altars in a few short hours to do rituals, to call upon beings that are willing to work with us, that we've made deals with, pacts with. For an example, Asmodai, demon of wrath, demon of desire. Working with him, you fulfill your desires, either by working for lustrous appetites, such as getting a girlfriend, a wife to have a family with, or say monetary gain, commonwealth type aspects, getting that desired promotion at work. But what happens if something or someone is in your way? How do you manage this? And it doesn't matter what aspect of life we're discussing here. Because when we get down to it, for an example, let's say, for an example, you're dealing with child protective services who have changed their stories a half a dozen times, committed crimes such as child endangerment, stalking, harassment, bullying, perjury, fraud, and criminal threatening. Or you're dealing with legal trouble, driving without proof of insurance, and someone comes to you and says, "Hey, you hit my truck," or at least word has it that you hit my truck. I found some damage. Let's bring out the insurance. Well, what if you don't have that insurance? But yet the insurance company is closed and the douchebag calls the cops. But then you find out later that he had called the cops 10 minutes before. This is an injustice. This is something of the system being greedy, especially when it's a private property and nobody and the cops do not have authority to be there. How do you defend yourself? Would you be as a Christian or one of these white light pagans and Wiccans and just sit there and let this shit happen? Or would you take action? Would you go through the legal means? What happens if that legal means fails you? Where do you go? How do you deal with this? Any black magician can tell you that there are ways of seeking justice that is outside the established normality, such as putting forth a griskus bag, a hex bag, cursing the hell out of the individual or that company, perhaps hexing somebody to the point where they have nothing but bad luck. How do you get that promotion if the other individual is fresh out of college, has no previous work history, or they're fresh out of high school and have never worked before, but yet they're being promoted to team lead over a 20-year veteran of the company? How do you do this? Black magic. Black magic is a key because it is no longer against the law, has not been against the law since 1937. The witch trial acts have been disbanded, but yet since the 16th, 17th century, the established legal system is in your favor. It is in your favor. What establishes a religion? A doctrine, a place of worship, a following. Be it your grimoire, your book of shadows, your black book. That is doctrine. If you have a coven, that is a following. If you have a religious foundation, such as a place where you can go, be it in the woods or a building in the city. Some churches, like the UU type church, will allow individuals to go in and perform their rites and rituals. The Pagan Pride Association and the Temple of the Feminine Divine, for an example, go to the UU church, and that's where they held their ceremonies, their rituals. But if you're a solitary practitioner, you have your own unique altar that you have set up. And through the black earth, through black alchemy, the black sun, working with demons, the jinn, working with beings of destruction or knowledge, such as the 9 kings of the Goetia, who can persuade men's minds like Paimon, teach you to become a master like Belial, to open the doors such as Boleth, open the doors to your desires to help you put forth your will into that workplace, such as Asmodeus. You see, these beings, they're old, they're well known. They have things that you can use. They are tools that you can use, but they're also beings, spiritual beings, that are willing to help you. Incense, herbs, alchemy. Did you know that back in the 17th century, the witch's hammer, Nicholas Remy, for an example, through the complete book of demonolatry, an ancient and historical count of witchcraft. In chapter 1 alone, he describes not one, not two, but 3 powders. One that will kill, one that will make ill, and another one that will heal. Did you ever stop to wonder why alchemy and herbalism were such popular ways of execution back in the 17th century? Even today, they're still used through our governments to assassinate the enemies of the countries. Witchcraft acts are in place to protect you. You can use a curse or a hex to get whatever you want when it comes to jobs. Hex your enemy, your opponent, remove them, make them sick, make them ill, undermine them through psychological warfare. The Art of Cognitive Warfare by Alistair Notch, or that of Sun Tzu's The Art of War. Know thy enemy is to know thyself, and to know thyself is to know thy enemy. Keeping things to yourself and working in the shadows will get you further. Those who have failed you, you can seek justice by working with Hecate, goddess of witchcraft, ghosts, necromancy, the underworld, and most importantly, justice. Working with agents such as Alistar from the Secrets of Solomon, the Executioner, that of Sebnuk, Arioch the Lion, Abaddon, the Angel of the Bottomless Pit, the Angel of Destruction and Death, Samael, the Poison, the Venom of God, can be used to lash out at your enemies. But it's not just death and destruction. Black magic is so much more. You can create potions and rituals, put a love spell on someone, a lust spell, to where they work and desire just for your client, or even yourself if you're interested. But you have to know what you're doing. You have to know the mechanics of witchcraft and why things work and how they work. You got to know what's at your disposal. What are your local laws? But when everything else fails, there's always that good old black magic. Remember, there are ways around everything. There are spells and rituals for just about anything. All you have to do is be self-motivated, and you'll achieve victory. Patience is a virtue. Directness will only get you hurt in the long run. But if you take heed of prudence, take your time. Take your time, calculate, toy with your victims. You can achieve victory. I destroyed a company, took them from a 7,000 or $7 million company and dropped their main hub for the entire region down to a $7,000 company. That's $100,000 less than what they were estimated to be like. And that's just through cursing. That's just through condemning a property and the person who runs that store. Through hexcraft, through cursing, verbal condemnation. I got a church shut down. The minister banned from ministering in the city of Bangor. 2 years I cursed that property. 2 years I performed ritual after ritual. Until one day, while walking by, a pink slip was on the door. The place had been closed down to unlivable conditions for the human habitation. The minister himself, now dubbed a con artist, banned from Bangor and Penobscot County. He put in over $15 million, $1.5 million, into that church, only to lose everything. All his plans went to hell. He became disheveled, reduced to doing films in his car. You want to know what black magic's capable of doing? These are just two prime examples. Just two. Look at history. Why is it feared? Why is it considered the most powerful, the most potent form of magic? It's because most don't have the balls to do it. It's untapped resources of energy. Demonology, angelology, the jinn magic. Doesn't matter if it's the Loa or the Ugan. These beings are willing to teach you. They will guide you. You just have to be open to it. You feel free to message me if you want to know more. I'll be around.